Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for sticking with us on this Friday. It's time now for Community Corner. Art, it's a great form of expression and even a coping mechanism as well for people of all ages, especially for kids out there. But for some families, it can be hard to afford those art classes outside of school. That's where Create Community Studio steps in. So I'm here right now with the executive director and the co-founder, Heather Hutchison. Thank you for joining us, Heather.
Thanks for having me.
So why did you decide to create this space, Heather?
Well, I've lived back in the Capital Region for about 20 years now, and along with my colleagues, Julie Lewis and Eiley Lopez, we felt that there was nothing like what we are doing currently in the Capital Region. I myself am an art therapist, and we felt like there was a gap in services in the Capital Region for expressive arts and arts and mental health.
We have a lot of moms and dads who watch the show and grandparents too. Why for kids is art so important? We know that this gets taken out of school programs as the first thing to go a lot of times with music programs too.
Yeah. Art is one of the first ways we learn to express ourselves as children. It's one of the first things toddlers do is they pick up a crayon and scribble. And it's a form of play, it's a form of exploration. And as we get older, we start to lose that part of ourselves a lot of times. So it's not just for kids, it's for everyone, even if we don't think of ourselves as artists. So it's so super important because art helps us make what's inside, what we might be feeling, whether it's happy, sad, angry. We feel those feelings inside and we don't really know how to express them sometimes, even as adults. So art gives us a vehicle to do that and make the internal external.
I think something that's interesting that you read about art therapy too is that you're talking about this idea with kids where they have a hard time expressing themselves, but even with adults who maybe even went through PTSD, a lot of veterans, why can that be good too? Yeah,
so I'm glad you brought that up. We actually work with a local veterans group, Arts for Vets. They're a grassroots organization that they knew that using art was really important for them personally. And so it gives, like I said, it gives a vehicle to make that internal feeling external, and it's a process too. Like it takes a little while to get there. And one of the big things we're a part of, or that's a really important part of our programming too, is the community aspect. So we work with a lot of community agencies, we work with schools, and you know, we all felt this during COVID, that when we were making art in our homes doing with YouTube videos, it was not really the same as when we gather in community spaces and we get that input from each other and satisfaction from socialization. And so sometimes even the art is secondary. So that's one of the main things we're about.
And you're creating another community space. You already have studios in Schenectady and Saratoga, but you have a new one coming up, right?
Yeah, we're really excited. We've partnered with Colorworks. This is a space that they occupied and gave us the heads up that they were going to be leaving in Hudson Art House in Troy on River Street. We're going to be having an open house on January 26th. We're really excited to expand into the Troy community.
Congratulations, Heather. So exciting. Before we go, can you just give us one example? You brought all these beautiful pieces for us. So how does this work and how does this contribute in those studios?
Yeah, so this is kind of a smattering of different projects we've worked on. You know, sometimes people come into our studios and make art, but these are also some community projects we work on. This is an example of our Color the Canal project that we do on the Schenectady Bike Path every year, and then we also added 100 birdhouses on the Schenectady Bike Path. So
art is for everyone, right?
Yeah, it really is. That's the idea.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Heather. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's 9:27. We're going to be right back, everyone, with more news.